All right, we're back on the deep end with Filter, and we've got two special guests in the hot seat today, Spenny and Emz from Onefour. How you boys doing?
Not too bad.
Obviously, Onefour were on the show about 6 months ago, but a lot's happened in the past 6 months. The biggest of which has been, the new EP, Against All Odds, your first EP. How's it feel having your first project out into the world now?
Yeah, it feels good. Got a lot of good feedback from it, but yeah, it feels good. It feels good to have everyone see a different side of music from us.
Let's talk about the title first of all, Against All Odds. That seems to be a mentality that you guys have had throughout your whole career. Is that something that was ingrained into your head at a young age? That mentality of perseverance and being, the underdog almost?
Yeah, I guess so. For our experiences and that growing up, 100%. And especially throughout music as well, with everything we've had to go through, police pressure, all that bullshit. But yeah.
And from the area that we come from as well, Meanjut, no one really knows where music comes from in Meanjut. Like, before us, there wasn't really anyone from Meanjut doing music. So, yeah, in music industry as well, it's kind of hard for us, but I guess we're starting to trend and everyone's starting to copy what we're doing in that.
And I think Against All Odds, it got a lot more relevance, especially last year. You guys, lost a couple of members, and a lot of people thought that Onefour would be over at the end of 2019. Was there ever a point that you guys thought, this is it, this is the end of the road, or did you guys always know that you guys were going to go forward as Spenny and Emz?
It's never really Spenny and Emz. Like, we carry that name Onefour with us either way, 100%. When Emz was gone, like, Onefour was still there, so we'll always have people coming in and out, but we'll always be Onefour, It's always a group mentality. And
I don't think there was ever a time when we thought this is it, when they went, we just looked at it as just an obstacle we had to overcome, and we're going to keep pushing.
Now that the EP is out, there's so much great energy, so much momentum around the release. Do you guys think that it's still, against all odds, or do you think that the odds are kind of in your favour now that you have a project behind you and you're an established group?
It's obviously the odds are obviously in our favour now, but there's still a couple of things we need to overcome. They haven't been giving us as much headache as they used to, but they're still around and we still haven't got given the okay to do shows and that yet. So
yeah,
especially with this virus and that still going. But yeah, I guess things are looking better. A lot of doors opening now, a lot of opportunity.
But you never know. Like, we might have shows that might get shut down, so it's a long-term game. We'll never know.
So let's talk about each of the tracks from the EP. We're going to go through and get a little bit more backstory on all of that stuff. So the first track is the intro from Selly. So why do you think it was important to put Selly at the start of the EP?
I feel like it was only right, because he was there. He's been there from the beginning. But yeah, it's been a while since people have been able to hear from him properly. So yeah, all the boys they all play their part in different interludes. But yeah, especially with the idea of having the jail call or the jail intro because of their current situation.
It only made sense.
It only makes sense.
But yeah, with that intro for Sally as well, we made that around 2015. He wrote that verse, and now it's coming out 2020. So it's kind of weird how it all comes out, But obviously, he got the chance to come out, and he's got the intro.
Yeah, just with the title and what the EP is based around, makes sense.
We've seen Selly kind of jump on tracks with Enter and stuff like that. So what was the idea behind, giving Selly, Lex and YP their kind of own interludes or own, intermissions within the EP as opposed to, putting their verses on an existing track?
I guess it just fit the story. Our producers had a heavy hand in that. Star Solo, shout out to them and Khaled. And yeah, it just fit the story, and it was more like heartfelt when it came out like that, the way we did it, Obviously they're not here with us, so it was just it felt right to kind of separate it and put them in different parts just to tell a story. Gives them their own space too, to talk and explain themselves.
And you just mentioned, the heartfelt and the story nature of the EP, and that's something that really came across with these kind of cinematic instrumentals, really minimal instrumentals on each of the interludes, So where did that idea come from? Was that Khaled and Wilster's idea?
It brings more the feel into the song. So you can just listen to their lyrics more and there's no beat, so people can just feel what they're saying. Yeah, that was Khaled and Wilster's idea, mainly Wilster, sorry. Yeah, he's a beast on the keys, you know, he knows what he's
Shout out
doing.
Worcester.
So for the guys that don't know, you know, Khaled and Will Star are two producers from Australia who, you know, they've done some of the biggest hits in the world, Rihanna, Ariana Grande, DJ Mustard, and, you know, Sydney guys like, you know, Spanian, and the Kid Leroy, obviously.
Yeah, they work with big artists, you know.
Yeah, Khaled's behind Kid Leroy big time, so is Will.
So how did it feel working with those producers on an extended project as opposed to getting beats from different people, which I think you guys have done in the past?
Our relationship's been tight with them from the beginning. I met Wilster through my uncle, so that the ties go back there, and we met Khaled through Wilster. So yeah, it was just been a blessing to be able to work with them because they're hands down best in Oz, I reckon.
Solar's been in there too, mixing, mastering and that, so he's always been there for
100%, Souls as well. It's also given us like upper hand on the music thing too, you know. So if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today too.
So the first single from the EP was Home and Away, and that's the next track that we're going to talk about. So do you guys watch that show in your spare time, and where did that idea come from to pull that metaphor of, you know, home and away and integrate it into the track?
I never really watched the show much, you know. Well, you get a lot of time to yourself in jail.
Yeah.
So that's where I was watching it all the time. A lot of the boys, a lot of my cellies, but I was never really into the show, you know. But yeah, just coming up in the beginning of our career, people used to just mock us and the whole home and away neighbours bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's not really like that out west, you know what I mean?
So we kind of flipped it on them and named the song Home and Away and showed them that this is our home and away. The way that you see it isn't the way that we're living, you know.
True.
And another thing in that song that I think people really loved was Spenny, your wrestling references something that you've done in a lot of songs, and you shouted out William Regal. So why is it, do you think, that so many rappers just love wrestling? Because every single rapper I talk to seems to watch it in their spare time. Is it because it gives you the mic skills or the confidence or stuff like that?
No, I just grew up watching it, you know. Well, so yeah, I just grew up watching wrestling and that, and when like I start writing in that, like some of those names come into my head, so I use them, you know.
If you're a kid, you gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
I don't know if it's still big now, but back then it was pretty big, like wrestling and that. Before UFC, it was like wrestling, you know. You go to school and talk about that shit, you know. But yeah, I don't really watch it anymore. But, yeah.
You think you're going to get back into it? WWE Network, tables, ladders and chairs match or something?
Nah, bro, I'm a bit too old for that now. I know you're into it.
Yeah, I'm heavy. Me and Nookie. And I think one of the really great things about that track also was kind of like the pride in the area that you guys were showing Mount Druitt, you know, showing, I guess, a more kind of like heartfelt side to it than what's portrayed in media and stuff like that. So it does seem to be that there's kind of like a more unwavering pride about Mount Druitt right now, especially, you know, you guys were talking about the Penrith Panthers players, you know, in the team right now and Bam Bam and stuff like that. So what's some of the feedback that you've gotten from people in the area from that song?
It's been great feedback from that track. I guess especially everyone from Mount Druitt and the area we dedicated the song to, they feel a lot differently. It hits them differently. But I guess everyone can relate to it in Sydney, you know, in their own way. But yeah, I don't know. The song is just the boys from Penrith. You got Bam Bam and all that. They know what we're talking about when we rap in that song because they've all been through it. They understand. They've walked the shoes that we walked in, you know. Even though they're playing footy in that right now, yeah, they understand what we're saying.
And the next song on the EP is Let's Ride. So I think one of the big things, or one of the really strong points of the EP is JM's, you actually went a lot more melodic with your delivery in a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
So how did you make that evolution as an artist, I guess from a pretty aggressive rapping style that you were shown last year to kind of doing that more melodic side?
I guess the music I started getting into and listening to a lot more played a big part into me trying out those different things in the studio and experimenting a bit more. So yeah, I don't know. We've been singing for a while. I guess as an islander, growing up, you sing everywhere. You sing in church, or you just sing along with the radio and that. We've got a lot of siblings too, and we all sing together as well, you know. So yeah, I guess that played a massive role into me transitioning from rapping to singing. And
Let's Ride, that also included a sonic reference to All Rise by Blue.
Yeah, and it also has like a what do you call it? Fucking one. What's that? I'm trying to think now. What's that vibe of music? Jay Huss and all that? Fuck, how do I forget? Afro, it has the Afro kind of side to it.
Afro
you know?
swing, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a bit vibey and that.
it's very different from the All Blues, but All Blues did play a big part. Like the song they also talk about, like they go on a court for some bitch cheating or something, you know?
Yeah.
We flipped it to like, you know, being in actual court for some other shit, you know what I mean? And especially with the situation of the boys in jail and that, like we're always in court.
And when you take that more melodic approach, how do you think that fuses with, Spenny, you on that track, still doing that more kind of staunch rapping style? How do you fuse that with kind of the melodies and stuff? Was that a challenge in the studio to incorporate those new vocal styles?
Nah, not really. I guess it came naturally.
I guess you always gotta have that one for, rapping in something. Like whatever we do, we gotta keep what we came up with and try and put it in a way and like mix it up. But yeah, Let's Try is probably one of my favourites, to be honest. It's more vibey track and that. It's for everyone,
Speaking about 2000s hits, we just spoke about Blue, but I don't think anyone expected that you guys were going to get on a track with Headie and rap over a sample from Crazy Town. So that was like another massive moment for you guys. How did it feel being on, one of the biggest UK tracks of the year and doing that official remix with, the likes of Stormzy and Headie?
Yeah, it felt good. Forgive me, I didn't even know what Crazy Town was before anyone and that.
That was a hit back in the day.
That over. Yeah. But yeah, he messaged us randomly. He messaged Rick, I think. Or was it Patrina? Sorry, Patrina. Shout out to Patrina too. She's been working hard behind the scenes. Yeah, she hooked that up, and it was good.
And the next track on the EP is Leaving, and this song, I guess, it addresses fake friends or clout chasers that come along now that you guys are such a successful act. So has that been something difficult for you guys to navigate?
People like that, they get fished up quick,
100.
So I guess for our experiences and that, we be able to see straight through people and know their intentions straight away. But yeah, you get them every now and then. You just got to know how to move around them.
You guys obviously got a few friends here today, so how do your boys feel, seeing the rise that you guys have had over the past year? Because it's been pretty incredible to watch. I imagine, for your friends that you've had since you were kids, it must be crazy.
Well, they've been with us every step of the way, so like it's kind of weird for all of us to see, but we sit back and talk about times when we're broke and that, $1 cigarettes and that. But yeah, we all know the struggle, but we're still together, They're always going to be with us.
And speaking about day ones, Spenny, you did a track with Kapulet also, Phone My Line. He edited, the message and some of your earlier videos. Yeah. He's also, I believe, Lex's cousin or related to Lex.
Yeah, he's Lex's cousin, yeah.
How did he turn from being, a behind-the-scenes figure for Onefour into being his own solo artist?
I first heard Crew rap at one of our boys' weddings. And he started rapping and that, but he was only behind the scenes with us. Slowly, he started doing music, and we told him to go pursue that. I was in the studio with him every day. There was this studio in the back of Chigi. It's one of the hoods in Maoni, and we ended up making that song, and we all stood together and making a song with him. Phone My Line, it just reminded me of when we used to work with Onefour. We used to go Gold Coast and edit some of our videos with Kay, and it was good to have him around. He's doing good. He's having another song, dropping another song around December, so I'm excited for that too. And
another guy from your crew that's in the studio, I believe, Caesar Onefour. So a lot of people asking about him. So when's he dropping his material?
I don't know. We're just trying to get him to the studio for now and help him grow. He's still got a bit of a way to come, but he'll be dropping some music.
He's coming soon, but
and when it does drop, we're behind him all the way. So you'll see it all over our stories and our socials and that. But yeah, we don't have any exact dates for his music just yet.
And the next track on the EP is the interlude from Lex. So in our last interview, you guys really spoke about how Lex, being a bit older than you guys, was, I guess, kind of a mentor figure for you guys, teaching you, the ropes of doing music and writing music. So now that Lex is gone, do you feel that you guys have had to kind of step into that role and become that mentor for yourselves?
Yeah, not just him though. As everyone's gone, there's been a massive gap for us to fill, and it's been pretty, It's been pretty hard, but yeah, we're getting through it. Yeah, he was different on the mic. Like everything he said, you have to break down, and it's hard. A lot of bars fly over your head and stuff. But we've also like working with him. We've also learned a lot. So like, if we didn't go through that stage of being able to work with him and him being able to teach us a lot of new things, we wouldn't be the artists we are today. So shout out to Lex.
And how's he doing? Have you guys spoken to him?
Yeah, he's good. He's just kicking back. The boys are all good. They're just kicking back. They're bored and that, but they hear all the tunes over the radio. They see shit on the TV. They see our stuff on the TV, and they're proud of us. So I guess it gives them like hope and stuff to come out and be out. They'd like to know that they have something to do when they come home, holding down the fort, you know.
And the next track on the EP is one of my favorites, Heartless. So like I was saying before, James, this is, I guess, one of the most melodic tracks on the EP.
Yeah.
But lyrically, it's still quite direct and still quite aggressive. So how do you go about getting your message across, you know, when the vocal delivery is, I guess, a bit softer?
I wouldn't have a clue. Our music just comes naturally, you know. Me and P, we made that track in our garage, back at one of my old houses, and like he was never allowed to leave the house because he was on bail, so we had heaps of time to make music. So like, and the boys were always doing stuff. So some nights I just fucking decide just to stay home and just, because that's all he was doing. He'll let us go out and he'll just write his own music. But it helps when I stay back with him and help him out and also keep him company, you know? So just one of those nights I just decided to stay back, and he was listening to Apology and that hard too. I think before me. And then, yeah, he wanted to do a whole lot of singing shit. And it was good to see him like progress like that, because he's a rapper, you know. Everyone knows P as that rapper, and I was just with it. I was on board. And then we came up with that. We came up with that hook like all in one night. He had his verse finished that one night, and then we were ready to lay it down in the studio.
And the next track is the interlude from YP. So can you take us through the day that YP was sentenced last year? I mean, from the Welcome to Prison video, you guys knew that he was likely to go in. What was going through your head that day? Obviously, it's such an emotional kind of time.
Yeah.
It's a lot to process.
It was hard for me because that was the day I didn't get let into NZ.
100.
So fuck, just not getting let into NZ was hard. I had to stay back, and they ended up locking me up in the airport all night. I wasn't allowed to leave the room, so it felt like I was in jail again. It was fucked. But then I got the news about my little brother, and that fucked with me more, man. Just hearing that, so that also gave us the drive to keep pushing. You know what I mean? Like, we felt like we just got done dirty, even though they're doing their time and that. But yeah, I don't know about Spenny. How was it for you?
Nah, it was just I actually can't even remember. It was a roller coaster of a day. Like those 2 days.
Too much.
Yeah, I was partying hard. Nah. I was in New Zealand and that. It was just different, you know.
Oh, it was hard for you.
Yeah,
It was hard for him.
I had to do a lot of things on my own, and it was kind of sad, you know. Like, kind of hit me like differently because we came from Brisbane. I showed in Brisbane, and I was there with the whole crew to the point where James wasn't allowed in New Zealand, and YP was taken. Lex got sentenced. Sally got sentenced, and I was on a stage by myself and that. So, you know, I kind of like stood back and kind of like just had to think for myself and just trying to see where's it going to take us now, you know? Where are we going to go now if I can't do this show and that? All my boys are gone. So it was, yeah, I kind of didn't want to come back to Australia and face the music and that, but you know, I was almost about to stay, but Rick told me you have to come back. We ended up coming back, and yeah, it was kind of like a whole, we had to pretty much start again, me and JM, you know?
Yeah.
With all our music and that, because we had built up music with everyone, like the whole crew, to the point where me and JM was just me and him now, making music, just me and him. But yeah, I think P will be getting out soon, and yeah, obviously everything's been going all right with this EP, so yeah, guess we pulled through.
And what was it like playing that show, you know? Like you said, going from a group of 5 to you just being on stage.
It was alright. It wasn't the best feeling, but
Had Urcha with you?
yeah, I had Urcha with me. Urcha ain't a rapper, but my hype man that night. But nah, I don't want to do it again. But yeah, hopefully soon we'll get to do nice shows. me and JM, and hopefully our shows will be a bit more bigger and that, like this time around, a bit more instruments and that, like different to just the DJ and that. We'll see how we go.
And has YP heard the EP? What's he think about it?
Nah, we played a couple of songs, but you don't get to talk to them for much. You only get to talk to them for about 5 minutes, so you can't run them through the whole project. But the songs he has heard, he loves them, man. He loves them. Yeah.
And the next track is another one of my favorites, Better. This one's been in the works for a while, I believe, because I remember seeing video clips of Carnage and you guys together in the studio. Yeah. So it's been in the vault for a while. So what's the evolution of that track, and when did Dutchavelli decide to come on?
We just sent it to him, mate.
Who, Dutch?
Yeah, Dutch.
Yeah.
But this Better wasn't actually meant to be in the EP. Just shout out to Carnage as well. We reached out to him and we asked him like this will fit perfectly in the EP, and it let it happen. We ended up contacting Dutchavelli.
And that relationship was already growing for when he contacted us for his remix, that Bando Diaries.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, we threw him that. We knew he was like the right person to jump on the track because everyone loves Dutch, you know.
Craziest delivery ever.
Yeah. So we kind of just went verse for verse. We gave him a verse for the remix, and he gave us a verse for Better.
Be expecting a remix for Better too. Another remix we're going to try and get out.
Hopefully get some good artists on there too.
An Australian remix or a global one, or?
Global, brother.
Global, always global.
We go big.
And you guys just mentioned the Bando Diaries remix, and I think the really great thing about that song was, you know, when Onefour was coming up, a lot of people from the UK were saying, I didn't know Australia had drill music. I didn't know Australia had artists like this. And then when the Bando Diaries remix came out and people heard Divine, people were saying, I didn't know India had drill music like this. I didn't know India had rappers like this. So I think it really cemented drill as a global language, you know what I mean? So what was it like when you were sitting there and then you were getting verses from all around the world and the whole track just came together so well?
We kind of we got the song the night before it actually got released. So we shot the video clip and we had Gabe there. Shout out Gabe. We edited our part real quick and put the song in there. But yeah, one of the verses that stood out for me was Noisy. Like Noisy from, I don't know, where's he from?
Albania.
Albania, yeah. So Noisy, and then the Indian bloke was on there. Divine. Yeah, it was good for us, you know. There was a lot of numbers come in. It was a very smart move for Dutch, like to bring a lot of those artists and global artists around.
And the final track on the EP, another one that's been in the works for a while, I believe, My City featuring Leroy, which came out a couple of weeks ago. When you guys first linked up with Leroy, it was kind of a very different story. You know, you guys were both kind of, I think, just on the cusp of breaking out. And then now it's like, with that song out, you guys, you know, smashing it here, obviously, and the UK, and then Leroy smashing it here and also in the US. Yeah. So how's it feel kind of having that, I guess it's like two arms, you know, just US, UK, and Australia as well, all under your wing with that one song?
Well, it's kind of crazy that we still have Leroy around, you know. When he left to America, he was very young, so it's kind of weird that we still have that relationship with him. Like, even through what he's been going through over there, you know, he's chilling with the best artists in America, and for him to just throw us a verse and remember us from when we were first back in Sony, it's crazy, you know. And his work rate as well, James will tell you that, you know, we've learned a lot from him, like the way he worked. I can't see it.
Being able to be in the studio with him and that, we've learned heaps. We've only had like, while he was down here, there was only like 2-3 studio sessions we got to sit in with him. And he played a massive role in my monologue scene, sorry.
Yeah.
Just remember going back and seeing him work in the studio, and he was young, like, he was only like 16, eh?
Nah, he was 14.
14, yeah, when he was with us. But he had his head on his shoulders, you know, he's been through a lot, he's seen a lot, and he was obviously in the studio with like the best here in Australia to learn at that young age. He knew what he wanted, you know what I mean? So yeah, for he, like when he was introduced to us, yeah, we just clicked, like, yeah, he's a G.
How did that link up first happen with Leroy? How did you guys meet him?
We met him through Rick. Rick actually used to drive him around and bring him over. We've actually made a few songs with Leroy, but the other songs got leaked. We ended up making this one that actually got officially released. But yeah, he was very young when we met him, so we were kind of like the older brothers. Like I thought I was the older brother when I seen him, and now it's like when I see him, he's like my older brother now. You know? he's made it. And that.
So in that song, you guys, you also seem to address, you know, the fact that there have been incidents of, you know, knife violence in Melbourne or Brisbane or Sydney, and, you know, a lot of drill artists come under the blame for that. So how do you deal with this newfound sense of, I guess, responsibility that people are putting on you guys being big artists and, you know, saying that you guys should be more vocal or more active in condemning these sort of things?
I don't know, we just don't pay it no mind. Like, we don't give it any attention. We're in our own lane, you know, so whatever anyone has to say, you know, if they're not saying it to our faces, then we don't give a fuck.
And it's opinions at the end of the day. It's their own opinions, and it's kind of funny because a lot of the opinions that are going viral are like the other rappers talking, you know. It's kind of like they're just trying to point the finger at us because we're at this point of our careers. Like, we're over here, and everyone's just going to try and do anything in their power to try and bring us down. But we're doing what we need to do.
And like with all that stuff, like there's still a lot of good things in our music you can focus on. You don't just focus on the bad shit when it happens, you know. It's there, but it's what we've accomplished for our careers. It's bigger. So, bad shit happens everywhere, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
And now that the EP is out, what's next on the cards for you guys?
I just continue doing music, man. Hopefully doors open up for us with shows. Just keep continuing to kill it.
Any last words for the Onefour fans out there?
We love you all, eh? Big
Run
love.
them streams up as well. And if you're gonna listen to the EP, make sure you're listening from back to front. Make sure you're listening on loudspeakers and that, just to hear all the production. Put a lot of work in the production. Hopefully you guys love it, eh? And thanks for all the support.